Welcome to Swolehammer. Even though we love the frantic action of Warcry and the skirmish gameplay of Kill Team, there's something to be said about fielding a big army. Hence why I started Starting Sigmar. For whoever is new to the channel or series, the mission of these videos are to help new players make a fun and efficient army from a specific faction, rounding out to a 1,000-point list, which is the lowest tier of competitive play. We also want to make it easy to acquire these items and enjoyable to hobby with. The criteria are as follows. We avoid making lists with repeat models. Models need to be easily accessible either from a Games Workshop store or Amazon. I like to support local, but sometimes prices can't be beat online. All models suggested are in plastic, and we only focus on armies with the current edition's battle tomes. We're in the 3rd edition of Age of Sigmar, otherwise these videos would go out of date quicker. So join the stomp as we make the mortal realms tremble with the Sons of Behemat. So why play Sons of Behemat? Do you want to plop down 4 models on the table and call it a day? Then you're in the right place. Sons of Behemat are a faction of giants that found unification in destruction after the Titan god beast Behemat died, arriving to destroy the mortal realms in 2 sizes, big and mega big. Their gameplay is simple: rush in and destroy your enemy. That being said, in 3rd edition, there is a good amount of choice and customization when it comes to the tribe, i.e. subfaction, you take, and the boons that come with it. There is just as much emphasis on the 5 variants of Mega Gargants as there are on the smaller Man Crusher Gargants, so mix and match to what suits your stomp's needs. Now, units to look out for, and this might seem silly with the limited amount of units available, but King Broad must be accounted for. The only named character you have in the whole army, he is a fantastic support piece, being a priest and giving a lot of buffs to mostly your Mega Gargants and some of your Man Crusher Gargants, and should be at least an option you think about when making a 2,000 point list. Now on to the buy list, and unfortunately as of this recording, there is no star collecting value box for Sons of Behemat, so everything's coming a la carte. So we start things off with the old Mega Gargant box that builds 3 out of the 5 variants just to save a couple bucks. And then the Man Crusher Mob box, which is the new Man Crusher box, as you can tell by the red branding. Unfortunately, Sons of Behemat clocks in at about $300 minimum, no matter how you try to buy it, but that's what you need to reach 1,000 points. Onto the list itself, it's straightforward. With the most recent points drops to Sons of Behemat, this is the closest you can get to a 1,000 point list, which leaves you 80 to spare. That being said, the list for 1,000 points really hasn't changed many of your options. The Gatebreaker is a seriously threatening model and will destroy everything in its path. Then I choose to use the Man Crusher Mob. I put them all separate models because you want to be able to have some flexibility to go into different units to spread across objectives. Because your army doesn't have many models, you need that flexibility. That being said, you can really change to any of the other Gargants, which changes your tribe and your benefits for your list. I chose Gatebreaker because it fills in the list the best. I would just suggest not doing King Broad because he doesn't actually have his own tribe to give synergies, so you'd be playing without any real buffs. And before we wrap up, here are just some things to consider. As mentioned in the previous subtitle, you can bring an endless spell, a generic endless spell, if you take the Kraken Eater and the Glowy Lantern artifact, so that's something you might want to consider in this list or any of your other lists. Regiments of Renown are also something you could consider for your Sons of Behemat list. I personally am going to take the Cruel Boys one in my 2,000 point list because it fills in some of the weaknesses and the holes that are missing in a Sons of Behemat army. And lastly, while the Mega Gargants are very strong, they can get stuck in combat easier than you think, and I suggest not underestimating the value of Man Crusher Gargants. We did a long form why to try on this topic, and while not all of my opinions stayed the same from there, there's still some things I go over where people really underestimate Man Crusher Gargants and the important utility that they bring. So that's it! This one has been delayed for a while, and I honestly kind of forgot about it, but also glad that I waited for the new GHB and those huge point drops that Sons of Behemat got. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, this is Rafik from Swolehammer. Stay swole.